So, before the virus, I went on a speed awareness course. There's a sentence I never thought I'd say, but I was caught speeding, they offered me the course or the points, I took the course. Now, I'm not condoning speeding or reckless driving in any way, but that course was brutal, you know, that was 4 hours of my life that I will never get back. I mean, it was death by patronisation, it really was, you know. I did conflicting reports before, people saying they'd had a good time, the people running it were good fun, and unfortunately I didn't have the same experience. I'd have to give them a big fat nil le pois. I mean, they had no sense of humour, you know. I said I couldn't drop below 50 because I'd activate the bomb. Nothing. Seems it was they who needed to be aware of speed. I mean, these guys, they had a PhD in mansplaining, you know. You see these people everywhere, these type of men that get off on a bit of power, a bit of responsibility. You know, like the other day, I was walking through town, an old man fell over, hit his head, he was bleeding. I rushed over, there's 2 men already on the scene, arguing about who gets to administer the first aid. Stay back, everybody! Stay back, no one panic, it's okay. Last week I did my first aid course. But was it the 2-day course or the 4-day course? The old guy's on the floor with blood coming out of his head like, is that a white light I see? Is that a tunnel? Is that you, mother? Shut up, we're trying to sort something out. But the people on the course were quite nice, the actual people, a lot of them, some of them not so much. I mean, there was one woman, Pam. Pam thought she knew everything. She'd spent her previous evening revising the highway code, you know. Pam was smug Pam, we called her, but she was, you know, she thought she knew everything until someone pointed out that her highway code was actually out of date and cars now come with seat belts. You know, I mean, for me, the course is a bit too rigid. I'd like them to include all aspects of driving to make it a bit more palatable. It'd be a bit less patronising in that shape, you know, that way. You know, include other things, like if it's a speed awareness course, let's talk about people who drive too slow. Let's give it the full spectrum, because they're a bit annoying, aren't they? Drivers who drive too slow, we've all been stuck behind them. You know, like my nan, she was a lovely lady, her son lived in Yorkshire, she'd drive from Wales to Yorkshire at 50 miles an hour on the motorway. You know, that's a long trip, isn't it? And if we're going to talk about those things, what about waving? I'd like to see waving compulsory. You know, when you let someone out, I want a proper wave, I want to see your whole hand. I want to know you acknowledge my gesture, not the old You know, that thing they do, just lift the finger out. If they wave at all, let's make waving compulsory. Waving, what about people who wave at you when you stop for them on a zebra crossing? I didn't want to stop, mate. I didn't want to stop. But then they're like, ooh. And they do that walking and running thing that dads do, you know. Makes it look like they're making an effort, but not. Essentially, they're just moving the same speed, but their arms are moving faster. They're not getting anywhere quick, you know. You're not fooling anybody. Let's stop that. But they don't. They don't stop that, and they don't make the whole thing more palatable. They just stick to the script. Don't speed, and obviously don't speed. Obviously don't speed, but they really hammer it in. Can anybody tell me the repercussions on a person who witnessed a collision between a human being and a car travelling at 21 miles per hour in a 20 zone? That's 1 mile per hour over the limit. You're supposed to say, you know, late for work, it ruined your day, bit of trauma, you know, that kind of thing. But they really go to town. No, this is Malcolm. Malcolm was taking his kids to school when he witnessed the collision. He rushes over to help because he'd just completed a 4-day first aid course. But consequently, Malcolm was late for a meeting. There was a hostile takeover. There were mass redundancies. There was employment of foreign labour. Malcolm became depressed. He started drinking. Distance began to grow between him and his wife. She sought comfort in the arms of his best friend. She eventually left him and took the kids with him. His depression got worse. He lost his job. He lost faith in the political system. Voted leave. And that's how we had Brexit. Speeding causes Brexit. And then Stuart pipes up. We all know Stuart. He's in every meeting. He's in every social gathering you ever go to. Stuart knows it all. He can overturn the decision about him speeding just with his witty comments. So he puts his hand up. He said, what if you run over a murderer? I cannot condone the running over of any human being. What if Hitler was crossing the road? Right, get out, you're having the points. Stuart was furious. He gets up, starts screaming and shouting, it's a cash cow, it's a government cash cow, and you are just a cog in a big machine, an endemic of a top-down society where we're all forcing rules upon the lower classes to extort money out of them without giving them a say at all, and we're calling it democracy. Democracy? Is this a democracy? I don't remember voting for speed cameras. Does anybody in here remember voting for speed cameras? You're out of order. This whole conference room is out of order, and are you really going to stand there and give me the points just so you can feel important? Yes. Now, fuck off. We all feel a bit inspired by what Stuart had to say. Certainly had some truth in it. It was almost like the end of the Dead Poets Society. We all stand up on the desks. We were all just about to stand up and go, oh, Stuart, oh my Stuart. But we didn't. Fuck Stuart. I didn't want the points.